Well, hello everybody, and hello PG Blanks, I think it was. Asked a question about how this bike is going after a couple of months of ownership, and so I'm going to do this quick little video. Yeah, thank you for your question. Well, let's cut to the chase. $150 from KMART. Was it worth $150? And I think the answer is no, and I'll show you why. So the first thing that it's a bit wet. Just to show you this, right? So that's my foot on the pedal, and it hits my foot. I don't think it's like too far forward, it's just there. When I take a corner, it brushes up against my foot often. Okay, so the dynamics of the bike is a little bit funny, so I don't really like that. I know a lot of bikes are the same, but yeah, this is one of those ones that does that. Okay, number two. The bike has some rusty bits already, not surprisingly, but it's just how it is. So the usual rust that you see on most of these cheap bikes is this little section here. I don't know why they do that. They must use a really cheap part there, but there's also a little bit on there. And then the bike's been sitting in a most of its life in a patio, and there's already some surface rust on the cogs here. There's a little bit of rust on some of the bolts, a little bit here at the crank. So you probably, I don't know, even for 150 bucks, you shouldn't really have that level of rust on a bike, hey? So initially, my positive thoughts that I initially had about it have somewhat diminished. Okay, so that's an annoyance, but the main reason why the bike is not worth the money, and I'm not really super happy with it, is because down here something has gone in there, I reckon, and it's like a clunky feeling and sometimes sounding bit through this crank here. And I mean, there's no front gear, so I shouldn't really hear any or have any feeling of sound or clunkiness through here, but something has definitely deteriorated through there. And the rear, well, it's okay. Like that part's okay. I've adjusted it. I learned how to use the adjusters and everything, and made it work pretty well. I don't think there's no problem here, but there's definitely something wrong in here, and I don't think that's, you know, especially when you're paying a little bit extra, 150 instead of your sort of $100-ish for a KMART bike. I don't recommend it. Okay, the last thing is the ratio of this top cog here is, for me, not enough. I kind of needed a little bit lower for some steeper hills, or higher, or whatever, but I find myself being on the top two with the way I ride quite often, because I like to keep my cadence up a little bit rather than push through the gears. So yeah, that's just something that that's a personal preference thing, but yeah, something that really annoys me. And the other thing that is, now that I think about it, is an annoyance, is this front brake. I'm not going to be able to show you, but it squeaks, and it's not a good feeling, not very nice. And even though it's a disc, it's a very poorly designed, made disc. I've tried to adjust it, it doesn't really make any difference. So the way that the drum pushes against the disc is just, I don't know if it's just disc is poor or the pads are poor, but it squeaks. So I'm resorting to the rear brake more as I'm riding along. That's just another kind of an annoyance. Apart from that, I still really like the look of the bike. It's a lovely industrial commuter sort of looking bike. Up here everything's fine. This is good. This is not too bad. Brakes are okay. Bell works. So yeah, so there you go. So yeah, thank you for your question. And yeah, look, overall, I think I would stay away from the Copenhagen from KMART. I think there's a lot better bikes out there, or look, for 150, definitely look on the second-hand market. You'll get something nice with a slightly better gear set, and probably a different dynamic frame, and maybe brakes that actually work properly. All right, that's it, everyone. Now, what I'm going to do for this video is, if you clicked on it, you would have seen that there's a little, like a icon down on the bottom left hand side, or bottom right hand. I'll put somewhere on the thumbnail, and it's a sustainability review thumbnail. And what that's going to, like a logo, and what that's going to show is that the review that you're going to watch on my channel is something that I've owned personally for quite a while. It's not some made up crap after owning a bike for a week, or owning anything for a week. It's something that is designed, so it's a sort of review that shows whether the product is sustainable in terms of being long lasting and good quality, or whether the product is poor, like as in this case, and it's probably not going to last, and it's probably going to add to the you know, the to the tip soon. Yeah, we're kind of trying to reduce waste, and making subpar products like this is probably not the best way to do that. So so there you go. Anyway, if you've got any further questions or comments, please let me know, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.